I'm Katie. I'm 28 and almost a doctor of philosophy. I've spent the last few years studying the molecular biology of frog oogenesis in a lab at Brown University, and, needless to say, I have made countless significant discoveries. But while I find myself spending a lot of time in the lab looking down a microscope or setting up a tiny biochemical reaction, I'm not one of those stereotypical antisocial reclusive scientists. My first love wasn't science, it was music. I've played violin and piano since I was 6 years old, and until a year ago regularly found myself on a stage somewhere in the New England area, singing and playing with my band. But why am I telling you this? Because through moonlighting as a musician, while studying for my PhD, I've been able to develop my more gregarious and outgoing side. I even got to talk into a microphone and, with the odd well-timed quip, make people laugh. It's this stage presence that I've tried to bring to my communication of science. If you haven't already, go check out a couple other posts on this website and, see what I'm up to. You know the saying, sex sells? Well, I think humour sells too. I'm not afraid to make fun of myself, which is good, as I'm fairly accident-prone. And I've discovered that this combination of honesty and hilarity forms a pretty engaging basis for the communication of complicated scientific principles, whether it be through a 1,500-word essay or a 30-minute television show. So here I am, 3,000 miles from home, which is a farm in the north of England, by the way, making a video for National Geographic. It's bananas. When I was little, my dad had a subscription to the National Geographic, and he would keep every issue in chronological order on a series of shelves in the living room. I remember the wall of yellow magazines, and while I was too young to really read very much of them, I used to love looking at the pictures and imagine I was in Africa taking that photo of the brightly painted tribal warrior, or that it was me who got sent to the Andes to search for endangered frog species. But I haven't travelled nearly as much as I want to. I've seen much of Europe and a fair chunk of North America, but my dream is to spend a few months travelling around Australia and New Zealand. Anyway, I think that's enough about me. I have with me today Dr. Emily Shamshenia from the Graduate School of Oceanography at the University of Rhode Island, who just got back from a field trip to Guatemala. So Emily, you were mapping an underwater island in a lake in Guatemala. How did this island come to be submerged?
Actually, we don't know how it came to be submerged, but we suspect it was volcanic activity that dammed an outlet that the lake previously drained through, and then the lake level rose over time, over the last several thousand years, and that submerged the island.
So how do you go about mapping such an underwater formation?
We use a very sophisticated and high-resolution sonar that we mount to the side of a boat, and we drive lines in the boat back and forth, parallel, in a pattern that we call mowing the lawn. And we do this for several days.
That's awesome. So that sounds like you're going to get a lot of data and information. What kind of processes can people use to then mine that data and learn about the underwater island?
Yeah, so we'll create several three-dimensional maps that people, including geologists and other environmental scientists, can use to understand the environmental setting of the lake, and even archaeologists could use to understand how humans might use that landscape for different cultural purposes.
Fascinating. Well, sadly, I don't think we have much more time, but I hope to see you all soon in DC.